Well, welcome back everybody. Good morning. Probably be afternoon when I post this. But anyway, getting a little cold here in Colorado. As you can see, fall is in full swing. Temperature at night is well below freezing. But during the day the sun comes out and we get up to 55, 60 degrees. That's in Fahrenheit, for those of you who live here. Anyway, been doing a few things, went hunting and some other stuff, and so haven't had a lot of time in the car. That's why I've been a little absent, so sorry about that. But I've been making some steady progress on some of the body work. It's not that exciting video, not that these videos are exciting either. I don't know why you'd watch it. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is take you and show you around some of the things that we're doing as far as the body work. So let's go take a look. So basically what we're trying to do is trying to close all these gaps, okay, and have them functional. The way I'm doing this is I'm using Duraglass, which is glass impregnated filler, and then also I'm putting in some carbon fiber to reinforce those edges, because I don't want them basically falling off, which wouldn't be a good idea. And I'm also keeping the thickness on the layers down as thin as I can. So that'll just give it a lot of strength, allow the filler to cure fully before applying another layer. So, and I've had good success with this. So I've had it where whenever I reinforce it with the carbon fiber, I don't end up having things flake off, and I get a good bond. I also make sure that I clean it before doing it with the denatured alcohol. That helps out a lot. Over here in the back end, you can remember that we actually went ahead and cut this up so that we have a single rocker panel. That's turned out quite nice. Again, that's all reinforced with carbon fiber and some epoxy, and then Duraglass over the top. And then I've done the same on the inside with carbon fiber and Duraglass. So keeping it strong. I sand off most of this stuff so that it doesn't end up weighing 100 pounds or whatever for the panel, so the panel is reasonably light. Did some adjustments here where we're getting nice tight lines, which is what I want to see. Now these are going to open up a little bit as we remove the panels and put them back on, but I got brackets where I can actually adjust that. So hopefully we'll be able to keep those lines tight. And then we have the one on the door. I'm still working on this, as you can see. So this one I don't want too tight, so this is about the gap size I'm going to go for on all of the gaps that have to do with panels that open and close. I'm not too worried about panels rubbing together too much, so I'm going to actually keep a relatively tight one where these panels meet and there's no opening. So let's go around to the other side, show you. We're trying to work back here, and then I'm going to work towards the front. We'll get all of that rough body worked, and then I'll start skim coating it with actual body filler. Again, we cut this apart and reinforced it with carbon fiber on the outside, and then also with carbon fiber and Duraglass on the inside. I just got the this line in. So what I do here is I basically fill the gap, put the carbon fiber in, I tape the panel that I don't want to get Duraglass on, which in this case was the door, and then I come in with a utility knife when it's just started to go plastic, and then I cut a nice straight line. Now obviously I've got to sand this back, and so that's why I want a nice thin line to start with, because we're going to sand it back to that gap I showed you before, which is kind of in this regime here. And then we've got to do some carbon fiber and Duraglass here to try to get a nice line from the quarter panel to the door. The other thing I'm going to have to do is take this out and then kind of recess this so that this fits in here nice and flush. Right now it's just kind of sticking out a bit. So, and then I've prepared this area here. So the first thing I'll do is I'll come in here with the carbon fiber mat, lay it down. I've actually cut it back so that it can lay flat and then it won't stick out once we cover it up. And then can get that gap filled. And then again, we'll come back with the utility knife, cut against the door, and then start sanding from there. So there you have it. You can see the carbon fiber strips that I've put in there. We'll sand this all down. Obviously that'll fray a little bit, but it's not too big a deal. We'll come in with a utility knife when this gets somewhat to the plastic stage and cut the gap. So, and then also I put some tape here so that I can peel off most of so that it doesn't stick to the door. Now, one of the other things I did was I printed out this new grill. It's changed the direction of the hexagons just so it matches the rest of the car. And it also made them a little bit bigger. So I think it looks good. You guys can let me know in the comments what you think. But I think it covers more of that area. I still have to cover this blank space up, this negative space. So I'll be doing that with either some flat ABS stock and matching it in here and then gluing it to this, or connecting it some other way. So I just use my utility knife and I cut a line, and I push it against the door so that I can keep it nice and straight, or at least mock the side of the door here. And what that's going to do is it's going to relieve it from the tape and then allow it to kind of shear off so that we can then get more carbon fiber in here, carbon fiber on the inside, and now we have an edge that we can go off of. So there you have it. You can see I cut out that part, got it pulled off the tape. This will get sanded down and probably just fall off because it wasn't prepared on this surface. And then I can sand this down, match these up, and then we'll sand the inside. But first I've got to sand it a little bit, put some more carbon fiber on it to reinforce it, and then some more Duraglass, and then we'll sand it all down and get it nice and pretty. So that part there is done. And then doing some final work here to get this gap finished up, and then I've got to work on this area here. I think this is the gap we're going to use going forward. So I'll have to find a piece of material that fits that gap perfectly so that I can get it all the way around, all on the opening types of panels, and then we'll work on gaps for panel to panel. So, well guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I mean, bodywork's not that sexy or interesting, I'm guessing, but it is a little different than a normal car where most of the work you're doing is metal work, where you can actually, you know, use hammer and dolly and get panels into the right place. On this thing, it's not possible. So we do have to do these little kind of repairs to the panels that we have done. Now, once this is all finished, and we get all the panels straight and everything, and I get to a place where I could paint it, you could think about actually pulling carbon fiber panels off of these panels, and then using those as the actual panels in the car. So that's an interesting thought, and might look into that. You could, you know, use each panel as a form for doing carbon fiber panels. So might not be a bad idea, because if you ever get in an accident, there's a lot of effort that goes into fixing one of these panels, because it just, basically shatters, which is a good thing because it's absorbing kinetic energy, so helps keep the occupants safe. But it might be better to do panels out of pure carbon fiber. So anyway, keep that in mind. So hope you liked the video. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and we'll see you next time.